12 months ago, I built my first PC sim racing rig, and at the time I said no to one of the biggest and most known sim racing titles. That's right, iRacing. Too expensive, poor graphics, bad physics. I had all the normal excuses. But things are changing at iRacing, and it's now time for me to get some hands-on experience with this sim. So in this video, like many before me, I'll be diving in to the Global Mazda MX5 Cup, arguably the most chaotic rookie series in sim racing, and share with you my journey out of iRacing rookie class. Can we avoid the dramas? Let's dive in. So here is our little MX5 for our rookie class races. After a bit of practice here at Okayama International Circuit, it was safe to say that this car and track combo were a lot of fun. Ready for our first race though, we are out of P7 and it's safe to say we are going to learn fast in this one. Start procedure, our first standing start, we actually take first gear there before the lights go out and bobble forward in the starting grid along with 3 other drivers around me, and as we go green flag we are going to pick up a jump start pit lane drive-through penalty, so already making some rookie mistakes here in rookie class. Turn number 1 to deal with though, a car on the inside there, and fortunately no contact and no big dramas in front. Someone spun off to the inside there, and behind a competitor awkwardly trying to put their nose in here at turn number 2, but again no contact. Great way to start this race out. Now coming through the turn 3 S's section, a competitor in front gets ejected off into the left-hand barrier. We're able to clear him, but unfortunately as he comes back onto track, collects another competitor behind. So we're already seeing plenty of dramas here in this first rookie class race. Out of turn number 4, a good run here on the car 6 in front of me, but we do decide to actually lift the throttle here and just stay in line, not get too involved at the start of this race. Obviously with that pit lane penalty to serve as well and a bit of a gap behind, I thought being cautious here was the smartest move. Down into the hairpin for this one and down to first gear. This is a really fun section of the track out of turn number 5, getting it back across to the right and then sweeping down into turn number 6, avoiding any track limits on the outside there, and again turn 7 here. Really fun when you get it right. Second gear out of there. Car behind is starting to close in, but obviously I'm looking to serve a pit lane penalty soon, so we're just going to try and enjoy being around some cars here for the rest of this lap. Now out of turn 8 up to turn number 9, this was the corner that I struggled with the most in practice, getting on the throttle too early often, but no issues on this opening lap. Car in front kicking up some grass there, really cool feature of iRacing actually. And as we come down to this last corner, we're going to go slow through here looking for pit lane entry and then quickly realizing that we've missed it a few corners back. So we're going to be eyes forward and need to give that one another go on lap number 2. Down to the first corner now on this next lap, and the car 6 is down the inside of car 1 in front. Car 1 completely oblivious to the fact he's there, turns down to the apex, and those 2 drivers are out of the race in front of me. And from P4 we're now going to look for this pit lane entry. Again we miss it there on the entry of turn 10, and we decide to sneak across and at least make the pit lane entry here, which of course is its own pit lane drive-through penalty offence. And that means that on lap number 4 we will once again be practicing our pit entry. We do make the entry properly this time as we come down to the final section of the pit lane entry. We almost lose the car going a bit quick through there, but we managed to get it down to 60 k's an hour and at least get into the lane properly this time. However, we immediately go over the pit lane speed limit as I have not set the automatic speed. I thought I had. It had not been set yet, so we get to come in and serve another drive-through penalty right at the end of this race. 3 lots of penalties, 3 stops in the box here to clear those, and what a shocker of a first race here on iRacing. I've not even set a valid full lap in this 12-minute race. We come out of the lane, technically finishing the race here, but we decide to at least complete that final lap. The upside of this race, with 1 incident point, we've managed to pick up a little bit of safety rating and at least get underway in moving forward to get ourselves out of a rookie class. So race number 2, and different fortune for us here. We've managed a 47.1 in qualifying. That puts us on pole position for this race. Now of course we're going to have another go at the standing start. The brakes are on. I've shifted up to first gear before the lights go out, and that means a very slow start, very bogged down at the start of this race, and I think I know what I will be needing to do for the next one. As a result, the first 2 rows immediately go straight around me before turn number 1, and we just watch that first place drive away from me here at the start of this race. Slow first corner for me as well, again just being very cautious, and a faster car behind. He immediately goes down the inside at turn number 2. We see that he's there, we give him some space, and I was certainly realizing that the rear vision mirror of these cars has a funny field of view. I think I know again how to change that for some future races, but it just made the cars behind look further away than they actually were, and it did catch me out a few times, you'll see in some of these races here. But we are able to get out of turn 4 on that opening lap without any incident, and at least settle in to this race and not pick up that drive-through penalty like I did in the first one. Now lap number 2, and we're going to come through turn number 6 here. Big moment for that third place car, and as we come through turn 7 he loses it once again. Around he goes. We manage to get down the inside and avoid contact, and that's going to move us back up to 4th position in this race. Now to turn number 8, car directly in front of me picks up a bit of grass on entry, but drama ahead for the leader. He loses the rear of the car coming out of the corner, and that second place car drives straight into him. Big damage for those 2 cars, and once again we're able to sneak by, almost getting collected by that second place car as he was trying to get into pit lane. But we've gone from 5th to 2nd in a matter of corners here, and are at least able to settle in now with a bit of a gap forming to some cars behind. Now up to the end of lap number 3 here, and starting to find my pace. I was obviously pole position in the qualifying session, so it did give me some hope that maybe my pace would be good enough to take a win here, but the first and foremost thought in my mind was safety rating. Trying to come down to first corner here, that car 2 in the lead of the race here goes a bit wide through turn 1, so we're going to get a little bit closer here as we get down to turn number 2, and then he drives straight on here at turn 2. Bit of a funny moment, not really sure exactly what's happened, but he's found himself off wide into the gravel, and then the rejoin collects the car behind. And all of a sudden I find myself in the lead of this race with space around me, a big gap now to the A-class driver in this race, 3.6 seconds with 3.5 minutes to go. And well, that really made things quite simple for me at that point. The car behind was definitely on purple lap time pace, but I was able to just keep it smooth, keep it consistent, not pick up any track cuts. There was no real issue for anyone of the cars around me, and so I could just bring this one home. 0 minutes left on the clock out of the final turn, checkered flag up ahead, and we're going to take our first iRacing win from the pole position. Not exactly straightforward. The real win of this race though was the safety rating bonus, 0.14 up on the safety rating and almost halfway out of rookies. Now on to race number 3, an improving qualifying pace, 46.5, has put me in P3, and another standing start procedure to deal with here. Pretty sure we know how to get this one right, waiting for the green light, then throwing it into first gear with the automatic clutch dropping there. It's a much better start to this race, keeping up with the front row and putting space into the cars directly behind. It's going to allow for a nice easy turn 1 for us with space to play with. So 3 out of 3 for at least clean starts through turn 1s and 2 on these iRacing rookie races. Very happy with that, and a great way to help the safety rating. Onwards to turn 3 now, and with watching that gap behind, happy to watch these 2 cars up in front. The number 2 car, he's going to look down the outside of the leader in turn 4 on cold tyres. That certainly does not work out well for him. A much better exit from me, and we are side by side on corner exit down this long back straightaway towards the turn 5 hairpin. A little bit in the slipstream of car 3 as well, and we're actually going to go down the inside here a little bit and make it 3 wide as we get towards the hairpin. Recognizing that on the radar, I'm very cautious to the hairpin, making sure I absolutely make the apex of that one, and that's going to leave us side by side with car 2 into turn 6. Definitely not wanting to go around the outside of that one. And a very fun sequence of corners there. Extremely happy how safe and clean that all was, and really good fun here in rookie class. Now on to lap number 2, and car 2 is going to have a look down the inside of car 3, and I'm a little bit further back here, and this is where the mirror issue really comes into play for me. I've looked in the mirror, I've thought I've got enough space behind to that car there, but he's much closer than I expected. He dives down the inside, a bit of a surprise to see him falling down the inside there, and we definitely back out to make sure there's no contact, but it felt like an extreme dive bomb, but in reality it was just me misinterpreting what I was seeing in that rear vision mirror. Start of lap number 3 now, and we're going to find ourselves quite an interesting moment here. I get a really big game freeze. That's not something I have experienced before, and unfortunately everything comes back right at the point I need to slow down for turn number 1. Also fortunate to not crash into any other drivers, and I haven't had that happened to me since, so I'm hoping that this will not be a regular occurrence with iRacing. Now coming through turn number 3, I've obviously lost some time to those leaders. Up in front, we're going to have a pretty unfortunate moment here. A back marker who's going slow out of turn number 4 is going to cause some drama with this leaders, and potentially that game freeze is going to save me a bit of pain here. It looks like he brake checks the leaders here on the back straight, causes some really big damage to the leaders and the car directly behind. We slow right down to avoid any contact, and the cars behind are going to take advantage of that. And as we come to the apex here, another car dives in there. We're fortunate to turn out of that one, the radar just showing that at the very last moment, and we lose a couple of places, obviously gaining that one from that leader damage, and that lap car still causing issues here on the back straight. So from the start of the race and the clean racing I had at the beginning there, it was really a shame to see players acting like this, but it is rookie class after all. It's probably what we were all expecting to see. So with just over 3 minutes to go in this race, we find ourselves in P5, looking ahead at these 2 drivers. I definitely had some more pace on those 2 drivers, but they were quite aggressively in the battle with one another, so I wanted to keep my run of safety rating going. Good to not get involved with that one. You see making contact there at the hairpin, but unfortunately on the very last lap of the race, we get into turn 1 a little bit too deep here, losing the rear of the car, and around we go, unable to catch the slide. A couple of cars come by us here, but we can see on the track map a nice clear rejoin for me, so fortunately not going to be causing any more dramas on this race. And it's safe to say that the overlays that I've got here have really been showing their worth in this race, between the radar, the track map for the rejoin there. They're definitely a bit of a must with iRacing. If you don't know, iRacing don't have any of these features normally, so a big thanks to the guys at iRDrive who have supplied these overlays for me for these iRacing races. Now coming down to turn 4, and we're going to get yellow flags showing there. The 2 cars that passed me into turn 1 have found each other at turn 4, taking each other out, and the 2 places we lose, well, we gain them straight back in just a couple of corners here on this last lap. So we're going to finish this race off in that P5, obviously picking up a couple of incident points. Not the nicest race for me, but coming out pretty unscathed despite the dramas. Safety rating up another 0.11 on to race number 4. And we're going to start this race out of position number 2, a little bit further away from the pole than the previous race, but good enough for the front row. Waiting for that green light, and as the flag flies, we don't quite get as good a jump as we do in the previous race, but it's good enough to at least hold position here on the run down to turn number 1. Now I'm cautious of a car on my outside, so we brake to make sure we get a nice inside run through turn 1 here, and he runs a bit wider behind, so we're fortunately able to come through turn 2 unchallenged and get ourselves another clean start in these rookie races. Now for lap number 2, we're actually going to take the full lap here, and if you play iRacing, you can see my inputs there. I really want to know, is there anything that you can see in my driving style on iRacing here that I could quickly find improvements on? This is going to be my fastest racing lap that I do through my rookie series races, and it's quite an improvement over the starting laps that I did particularly. It ends up being a 145.7, which I feel is a pretty competitive lap here around Okayama in these MX5s, but I just want you to see, you can see the inputs like I said. Can you pick anything out? Is there anything I can do? The braking particularly is very, very different to the ACC and LMU titles that I've been playing, and to be honest, I've been really enjoying the challenge of it, but I do want to take a very rookie mentality into iRacing and learn as quickly as possible. Down to the hairpin here, down to first gear. I think I'm seeing that my trail braking could be a lot more linear coming off the throttle, but definitely if you're picking anything out here with steering inputs, braking, acceleration, anything that you can see, I would absolutely love to get some feedback from you. Coming down to turn 8 on this particular lap, late change down to first gear. Out the other side, trying to get back across track for this turn 9, being patient here, turning a little bit early on this particular lap, but out the other side, down to turn number 10, flat out through here and ready for this final turn. Bit of a break down to second gear, getting it turned and then using some of that runoff on the outside, and this ends up being the purple fastest lap of the race, and it does stand to the end, which I think is a pretty cool feat after a few rookie races. Now we immediately undo that good lap with running very wide into turn 1, and in fact P3 also runs wide behind, which really takes the pressure off from any cars coming up behind me. As I said in that lap, if you have any advice from that lap, any feedback at all, I would absolutely love to hear from you in the comment section. The rest of this race was a pretty lonely affair for me, just trying to learn the car, learn the track, keeping it clean, and on the last lap here you see the leader is definitely out of sight. He's heading to the finish line there, and we're going to come away at least with the P2, my second podium in iRacing, and 0 incident points. That's the big one for rookie class. No incident points, nice and clean. Safety rating wise, we're going to see another improvement, up 0.11, very nearly out of rookies. And for race 5, the good form still continues. A 46.1 in qualifying gives us a pole position, and we're just looking for one more clean race to escape rookie class. A pretty good opportunity to do it here from pole. Waiting for the green flag, and as it flies, it's an okay jump but not the best, and immediately the P2 car with a better launch is on the inside here for turn number 1, giving each other space into turn 1 nice and clean. Coming out of there, he does take the lead, a little bit slow out of turn 1, but no pressure behind there, and it's in fact the leader who gets a really big slide through turn 2. We get to have to check up here, looking on the outside, and I have a bit of a look down the other side of the car there, and I have to give an apology here to the driver in P3. I move across and it ends up blocking that run from that driver. That wasn't the intent of that move, it was more eyes forward, but I apologize to that driver for a move like that. Not the best driving from me. All eyes forward though for the rest of this opening lap, and we're going to try and get a decent run here out of turn number 4, down the back straight, trying to get into the slipstream here of the number 3 car, heading towards the hairpin. There's a bit of a run here, and we're going to at least show the nose to the hairpin, but we're not far enough alongside to be challenging into that corner. Behind, it's the number 2 car. Again, he's on the outside, bit of a look there at the hairpin, but unable to make anything of that as we come through now turn 6 and 7. And like I said at the start of the race, I'm looking more for a clean race. A win would be fantastic, obviously, with that pole lap I had, but safety is the key one here. Down to turn number 8, and we're still just following along. The car behind though is looking very speedy, so I'm being a bit cautious of that. More eyes back than forward at the moment as we come out of turn number 9. He's only 0.2 of a second away there
coming through towards the last turn here. Unfortunately, I don't get this one too right. Probably a bit too much brake there, a little bit of a slide. It's a sloppy corner all round, and already that number 2 car is looking to show the nose. He's got a bit of a run here, and I decide not to challenge this one into turn 1. Not the best start for me, and it was better to just let him by. Behind some drama, that car on the outside of that battle being spun into the gravel there. So that's definitely taking some pressure off on me securing a potential podium in this race. Now straight away I get another run here on this car too, with a much better exit out of turn 2, but we are going to back off a little bit. I'm hoping that he can just push on here at this point and get up to the leader, and as you can see, a couple laps later he is very quickly onto the back of that driver. He sets a 45.1 on that third flying lap, and that is a 45.8 for me, so he's definitely faster, and he's immediately putting some pressure here on the leader into turn number 1, with the leader defending this one pretty hard here. Coming out of turn 2, a bit of a crisscross there from the number 2 car on the leading number 3 as we come through turn 3 down to turn 4, and this battling is going to allow me to creep up a little bit here on this battle. Behind there's now a 6-second margin, so I really don't have any pressure there anymore. Really our race now is looking ahead to these 2 leaders, seeing what sort of battle they get into, and potentially pick up some pieces if there's any contact, any dramas. Coming down towards the hairpin, that car number 2 is on the outside of the leader at the hairpin, and as they come down towards the apex they do make contact there. That car 3 I think was just trying to hold up the car 2 on the outside of the corner, but car 2 he turns down early over the nose of the leader, and around he goes into the gravel on the outside of the hairpin. Despite him quickly recovering to position 3, he's unable to make any significant inroads into us during the rest of this race, and my pace is pretty decent to be within touching distance here of the leader with 3 minutes to go. Unfortunately though, we're not able to get really into the battle with this driver, trading lap times a bit, and this is pretty much as close as I get to the leader for the rest of the race. Overall though, I am very happy with my time in the rookie class races. This is going to be another 0x race. It's absolutely going to be enough safety rating to get me over into the promotion of D class, and overall this has just been a really fun little challenge, and I'm just so happy that I got through it. In the races that I did, I got to have the battles that I did, learning this car, learning this track, and it really makes me very excited actually to do some more iRacing very soon. As you can see, as the results come in, another really good chunk in safety rating. That promotion to D class is secure, and we are ready to push forward now into some more iRacing journey.
So there we are, avoiding the chaos and getting ourselves out of sports car rookie class. Not only was the racing better than I expected, overall these little MX-5s were a lot of fun to drive. Although I would love to immediately compare the GT3 machines of iRacing to other titles right now, I have to admit that these little MX-5s have shown me the benefits of progressing slowly in iRacing and enjoying each of the stages as you get to them. However, as some of the on-track action shows, I have a lot to learn about this sim, and I want to keep a very rookie mindset on this new title. So if you have any comments for me, any tips and tricks of anything you've seen in this video, please drop them in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Also, any tips on the standing start would be fantastic. Of course, if you want to see my next iRacing experiences, then please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. And lastly, a big thank you to the crew at iDrive who have supplied their recently released iRacing overlay. Just as they supported me with their ACC Drive product in the very first week of my channel, it's great to continue to work with those guys and have a familiar interface as I navigate this new iRacing experience. With that all said, a huge thank you for watching my first iRacing video. Race hard, stay positive. We'll see you soon in the next one. Cheers.